Welcome back, Pipers. Hobbiton Piper Kevin here, coming to you from the heartland of America in Missouri. And today we are going to review Gawith Hoggarth's Bob's Chocolate Flake. Now this is considered an aromatic because it does have cocoa, vanilla, maybe some whiskey flavoring added to it. But it is comprised of 82% Virginias, specifically Brazilian, Zimbabwe, and Malawi Virginias, 8% Malawi sun-cured, 2% Malawi burley, and 8% Latakia. And I will go ahead and tell you that it has some Lakeland essence as well. Now, before you run away, all of you that do not like Lakeland essence, stick with me. Stick with me and listen to the review, because this one is done in a very interesting way. And I know some of you don't like aromatics. Some of you don't like any blends with Latakia in it. But this one is very interesting in the way that they have comprised it. Let me show you what this flake looks like. It does come a little moist, so you may want to dry this a bit. Really beautiful presentation on the flakes. What's the tin note like of Bob's Chocolate Flake? I love the tin note of Bob's Chocolate Flake. And it reminds me of it's like a chocolate spiced bread. You know, one of those breads that has, it's made with cocoa and salt and cinnamon and nutmeg and dark brown sugar. Really pleasant tin note, really interesting. I think you'll like that tin note. Let's go ahead and get this lit, and we'll talk about what we can find. And it's a lot. I'm going to say something controversial right now. I think this blend is named wrong. There are many aromatic blends out there that have a much more prominent chocolate flavoring added to them. And unfortunately for this blend, I think a lot of people will buy this tin thinking that they're getting one of those in-your-face chocolate bombs and be disappointed. Just simply because of their expectations. They expected this to be a really in-your-face chocolate aromatic. And I'm here to tell you today that it is not. I think they should have named this something else. Now, I don't know the history of why it got this name. There is cocoa added to it. But I think I would have named it something else if it was me. Now, while the cocoa is there, it's way backseat compared to other things. So let's talk about kind of what's in the forefront of this blend as we get going. for me, there is a very prominent, almost like a vanilla almond nut cake type of flavor, way before you find any cocoa. There are vanilla qualities here, and there are those almond nut type of flavors as well, and kind of a sweet cake. That's the primary note that I get off the front. And a little cocoa in the background. But all around it is this Lakeland essence. Now, some of you may not be familiar with what Lakeland essence is. So let's talk about that. What is Lakeland essence? Well, based on my research, long ago there used to be some English tobacco purity laws, and they banned artificial flavoring on tobaccos. But the way the laws were written, you could have floral, maybe alcohol toppings in limited amounts. So this essence was created by taking rose water, roses, other flowers, creating this rose water oil, and then the blender could use that to differentiate their blends from other blends, make them unique. Because they found that by just adding a little bit of this essence, it could have a big impact on the blend. Well, this continues to be used today in what's known as the Lake District, I think, of England. And if you really want to know what Lakeland essence really is all about, you need to get Innerdale Flake. Innerdale Flake has the strongest Lakeland essence that I've ever experienced in a blend. Now, this is usually a love it or hate it experience, because many will consider this to be soapy, to be the bottom of grandma's purse, really floral, perfumey, and smoking that for a lot of people is not a pleasant experience. Now, at this point in my pipe journey, Innerdale Flake for me is not something that I can smoke all the time. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it'll ghost your pipe like nothing I've ever experienced. But in small amounts, it's a little bit different. I spent many a Sunday morning on the second pew of an old country church because my father was a country preacher, and we were there every week, and I was sitting right there on the second row listening to my dad preach. And my mother, of course, would get all fixed up for Sunday morning, and every single Sunday morning without fail she would get her hair fixed and she had these aerosol cans of hairspray, and she would spray her hair with that hairspray. And she liked the ones that kind of had that floral smell to them. Now, for me, Lakeland Essence reminds me of those Sunday mornings sitting beside my mom, smelling that hairspray. But I can also get other types of experiences with Lakeland Essence, such as wildflowers and rose water. So it's an accent piece. It's an accent piece to this blend. So there's a lot going on in this bowl right now. You do have the hint of cocoa, but you've got vanilla flavors going on here with some of that almond nuttiness. It's almost like your mom is in the kitchen and she's baking this vanilla almond cake wearing that floral hairspray on her head. So you ask yourself, does that sound like a good blend? Well, yes. Yes, it does. Because this thing is jumping all over the place. And it's super interesting the way this has been blended. You know how when you're cooking, there'll be a certain spice, and if you added too much of that spice or too much of that ingredient to your dish, you just ruin the dish. But in small amounts, it can be the exact thing that gives that dish its character, that gives that dish its unique flavor. Because I know many of you do not like aromatics. Many of you do not like Latakia blends. Many of you do not like anything that has Lakeland in it. But what if there was just a little bit of Lakeland? What if there was just a little bit of Latakia? What if there was just a little bit of aromatic topping? That's what Bob's Chocolate Flake is giving you. And it becomes a very interesting bowl. I think this is one of those that I'm really going to have to spend a lot of time with, because I feel like I'm just scratching the surface on what I can learn and what I can enjoy from this blend. As you progress through the bowl, the floral essence, the Lakeland essence, it does begin to dissipate for me. And more of the other flavors begin to take a higher role. And if you notice the Latakia at all, I think it's going to be more mid to late bowl for you. So this is a very mysterious blend. I find it really interesting. I find it really tasty. And if you want to spend some time with a blend that's going to make you think a little bit, and you don't mind actually getting to know it, spending many bowls with it, I think Bob's Chocolate Flake is something you should give a try. So until next time, go enjoy some good food, good drink, and a good pipe.